David, how are you doing today?
Doing good, brother. Yourself?
Good, man. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um, I know that David Lemieux's been a guy he's been around for a long time, so I'm assuming you're pretty familiar with him. How much preparation do you have to do in terms of video and strategy to get ready for a guy like David Lemieux?
I've had a lot of preparation for this fight. This is a fight that definitely means a lot to me. This is another interim or another WBC interim title fight. So I'm very excited to even have this opportunity to fight for another belt. But David Lemieux is a fighter that I've seen for a long, long time. I've actually been a fan of him when I was younger. I'm not going to say I'm a fan of him now, but I do like his fighting style. I've had the chance to see him at his heights, and I had a chance to see him at his lows. So I kind of know where his strengths and his weaknesses are. So I'm very familiar with him. Even till now, I'm still watching film on him, and I'm definitely working on a game plan that works, that's tailor-made just for him. But I feel like it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a fun fight. I've worked extremely hard for this fight. I'm ready. I feel strong, fast. My stamina is amazing, and I get to fight in my hometown for another title. So I feel like everything is aligned for me. Everything is going amazing now. I'm just excited to go in there, get into the fight, and get another victory and get another belt around my waist.
You're a super middleweight with really amazing power. He's got great power. I think he's got a 76% knockout rating. If he tries to fight you head on, how big of a mistake is that going to be for him?
We won't know until we see. I definitely everybody who tries to fight me head on has been a mistake up to this point. So, but I just can't go in there, overconfident, thinking that he can't hurt me, because anybody in the ring could get hurt. So, I got to be very calm, very smart, good defense, and just let him make his mistakes. And I feel like the knockout will come on its own.
Over the last few fights, at least, and in the majority of your fights, to be quite honest, I see this pattern where you kind of stalk them, you walk the fighter down. They do all they can to keep you off of them, but you just take shots left and right, and it doesn't bother you. And you avoid a lot of them as well while delivering your own heavy punches. Is your chin, I mean, is it one of your best weapons?
I mean, I wouldn't really say my chin is one of my best weapons. It's good, but I'm not out there just with my chin out taking shots. A lot of the punches, I either kind of roll them or I partially block them. I don't think this is a good a strategy for anybody to go try to take punches head on, but definitely that's one thing we've improved into, especially now that I'm getting better fighters. But yeah, I mean, we definitely work out the chin all the time, and it's held up pretty well to this point. And I feel like I'm just getting stronger. I'm getting better. So yeah.
Going back in history a little bit, I'm going back to 2017. The only time looking throughout your career where it looked like, okay, someone was giving you, a nice little challenge was that first fight with Ronald Gavril. Between that fight and now, how much would you say that you've grown as a boxer between then and now?
Well, that fight wasn't even supposed to be like that, honestly. The only reason that he even had a chance in that fight is because I had got sick the week of the fight. I was going through a lot of stuff. My uncle had died 2 weeks before the fight, and then I got a severe flu the week of the fight. And it was a lot of pressure on me too. It was my first world title fight, so dealing with all that. But it was a close fight. I give it to him. It was a good fight. And then a couple months later, I gave him a rematch. And you already know what happened with the second fight. I just blew him out the water. That's how the first fight should have been. But now that I didn't have all this stuff going on in my mind, and I was healthy, I wasn't sick, that's definitely how the fight should have been. There shouldn't even have been a rematch. But a lot of these guys, it's not them necessarily that give me the challenge. It's the thought of them being extremely good when I train in the gym. And that's what motivates me too. Every time I fight somebody, I try to envision them to being the best version of themselves they're going to be, so I can push myself to train even harder in the training camps. I always do about 3 months and a half training camp. So I give my all in the gym, and I train extremely hard. And I think that's the key right there. Just sacrificing everything and putting 110% in the gym. And the fights, they don't become easy, but I make them a little bit easier than they are.
In a situation like that, where you are physically ill, where you have, emotional trauma dealing with the loss of a family member, how much did that fight teach you as far as, not just in the ring, but how to deal with things out of the ring, and then how you carry yourself in the ring? Would you say that was a bit of a transformative moment with you and kind of learning how to deal with that?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely taught me that, it not only taught me, but it let me know who I really am inside. I feel like once you get to those moments, that's how you really find out where you are, who you are. If you're gonna crumble under the pressure, or you're gonna lead, go forward, and do the best that you can. And that's really, I've always known that about myself, that I'm never gonna give up no matter what situation. And that position that I was in, it just really showed me that I was right, that I'm never going to give up, and I'm going to keep doing my best in any situation.
It's almost sounds weird to say that. I mean, this is your ninth year as a professional fighter. You're only 25 years old. Looking at the collective of your entire career, what would you say was the toughest moment within your career, either within the ring, out of the ring? What was the biggest challenge that you've had in those 9 years?
The toughest moment I really had is just staying on top of the training and working as hard as possible. I think that's what a lot of fighters deal with, even though they don't realize it themselves. But that's really the toughest thing to do, is just to remain hungry and train hard. And throughout the years, instead of letting off on the gas pedal, even going even harder. I've all my training, for every fight, I've had amazing training camps, and it's never changed. And that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people, they mess up sometimes, that you know, um, when they get longer into their career, they start training as hard. And then for me, I mean, it's hard. I mean, that's why a lot of people don't really stay around for so long. But that's really the hard part right there. Just training. And now that I got a son and I got a wife, that's the really hard part too, is leaving them at home and then going for training camp. But I feel like I'm doing this for them, and I'm doing this for all my family. So this is something that's necessary that I got to do to go out there and get and do the most for me and my family.
That maturation from a young man to a man, now having a family yourself, what does that do to you mentally going into this process? Now, does it kind of calm you now that you have a family? Does it show kind of added maturity to you over the years and how you carry yourself in the ring and out of it?
It makes me even more motivated, just because I have a son now. Obviously, I got my own family at home, and now I've made my mistakes in that. But I just want to show my son that, it's not about the mistakes you make. It's about how you feel, how you do when you get back up, and how you act after that. And I feel like I'm a good person, and I've definitely, I'm a good man, and I just want to go out there and keep doing this stuff for my son. And then after becoming a good man, I want to be one of the best boxers of my generation.
I know that, having your focus for one fight at a time, everybody wants to look ahead and kind of, throw these, who's next, even before you've got the next guy in front of you. The landscape at super middleweight, there's a bunch of good fighters. The landscape at light heavyweight, do you try to keep it out of your mind that, okay, if I can't get one of the guys that I want, then I might have to jump to light heavyweight? Do you keep that out of your mind, or is that kind of in the periphery of your mind?
No, that's definitely what I want to do, and I've talked about that already too. If I can't get one of these guys at super middleweight, then I'm gonna go dip my feet into a light heavyweight. I feel like I could make both weight classes good, especially if there's a big fight at 168, or if there's a good fight at 175. I'll definitely go and try 175 out. But I feel like right now it'd be a little bit smarter move on my end, that when I win the belt, the interim title, is to stay around at 168 for a little bit longer. I feel like I'm closer now to making the big fights happen that I wanted than before. I feel like Caleb Plant, Charlo, Andrade, and I feel like those fighters they're more of a possibility now.
Probably the last question I have for you here. You said those names in an order. Was that a particular order? Is there something special about Caleb Plant considering the bad blood, or is it those three guys are all equal?
Well, I feel like Caleb Plant now, he doesn't really have any other route to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to get a tune-up fight with Anthony Durrell, but I feel like that's the fight that makes sense, because Charlo, I mean, let's be honest, that's a fight that I would love to make happen, and that's a fight I would love to make happen for the fans. But Charlo, he's just a talker. He has no desire to fight anything, So I feel like in reality, the Charlo fight is a little bit further away than the Caleb Plant fight. I think the Caleb Plant fight, if everything goes good, May 21st. I think that fight can be made by the end of this year.
Well, David, obviously you've been doing great things in the ring. I think most people expect you to continue doing that, and the future is bright for you. Best of luck on May 21st.
Thank you, brother.